Foldable phones already have one weak point built in, the hinge. Drop it wrong, and even a $1,000 screen can crack from the inside out. We stress tested 9 cases to see which ones actually protect it. So we're starting with the case that has the most paperwork behind it. And that's not a knock, it's the point. The SUPCASE UB Stand is drop tested from 15 feet and certified to MIL-STD-810H-516.8. That's not a vague military-grade sticker. It's a specific, named revision of an actual testing standard. And it's the same one SUPCASE applies consistently across its whole lineup, which makes it easier to trust than a one-off marketing line. The case wraps the entire hinge in a dedicated shield, adds 4-corner airbag cushioning at the points a foldable is most likely to take an impact, and this is the part that matters if you're a screen protector person. It comes with a built-in HD front protector rated at 95% or higher light transmittance. Because that protector is integrated into the case's front frame instead of sitting under a separate glass layer, you completely sidestep the lip conflict problem that ruins so many aftermarket tempered glass installs on foldables. On top of that, there's a built-in N52 magnet ring rated at 1,500 grams of holding force for MagSafe-style chargers, mounts, and wallets, plus a dual-position kickstand that actually supports both landscape and portrait, not just one fixed angle. Here's the honest catch. All of that protection comes from a genuinely reinforced shell, and reinforced shells add bulk. This is the thickest, heaviest case on this list by a clear margin, and the textured anti-slip grip that keeps it steady in your hand can catch on tight pocket linings. You're trading pocket friction for hand and surface grip, which is a fair trade if you're rough on your phone, but a real one. And because the screen protector is built into the case rather than a separate purchase, if that layer ever scratches badly, you're not swapping in a random $10 glass protector. You're waiting on a SUPCASE replacement. One more note for transparency. MIL-STD-810H-516.8 is a real citable standard, but SUPCASE's listing doesn't indicate third-party lab verification. This is the brand testing to that standard internally, which is still more specific than most competitors offer, but worth knowing. Verdict. If you want the single most quantifiable hinge-focused drop protection on this list, and you don't mind carrying the bulkiest case here to get it, this is your pick. This next one keeps the certified drop language, but swaps SUPCASE's rugged shell for something you'd actually want to hand someone in a meeting. The TORRAS Q3 VegSkin is built from what TORRAS calls organic silicone leather, a vegan leather finish designed to avoid the smell, color transfer, and cracking that cheaper faux leather backs develop over time, with a coating that's marketed to resist stains from coffee and finger oil. It's rated 4 times MIL-STD-810G and marketed as exceeding a 16-foot impact threshold, backed by a shockproof hinge cover with a soft microfiber lining underneath, plus raised bezels around the camera. The magnetic system here uses what TORRAS calls an N56 Halbach array, rated at 18 newtons of holding force. That's a different unit than SUPCASE's gram figure, so I'm not going to pretend I can directly compare the two without doing the conversion math for you. But it's a specific named number either way, and it's meant for the same MagSafe style ecosystem. The 360-degree stand is patented, and TORRAS says it's tested through 50,000 plus rotations, and unlike a folio flap, it sits flush against the back when closed, so you're not carrying permanent kickstand bulk in your pocket. 2 screen protectors are included in the box. The catch is in the fine print of that drop rating. SUPCASE gives you a specific drop height paired with a specific named standard revision, 810H-516.8. TORRAS's listing says 4X MIL-STD-810G and exceeds 16 feet, but doesn't break down the actual test method the way SUPCASE's does. So you're trusting a softer version of the same brand self-report. It's also not a full rugged shell. This is a leather-wrapped stand case built around a rotating hinge, not a four-corner airbag design. So if your definition of extreme means construction site drops, this is a step down from pick 5.
Even with a comparable sounding certification number on the box. Verdict: this is the pick for someone who wants a documented drop rating and a hands-free stand without looking like they're carrying a tactical case into the office. The TONGATE wallet case is where this list pivots from protect the hinge to replace your actual wallet. It's got a hidden RFID blocking slot that holds 3 to 4 cards, a hard PC back paired with a TPU shock-absorbing bumper in a dual-layer build, and a full hinge cover with automatic rebound so it tracks the fold without snagging. There's a hidden foldable kickstand built into the back panel, and TONGATE explicitly states this version is designed only for the Z Fold 8 Ultra's 2026 8-inch body. It is not interchangeable with the standard Z Fold 8. So if you've got the wide model, this isn't your case, and TONGATE says so directly on the listing rather than burying it. Here's the honest catch, and it's a real one, not a small print technicality. TONGATE states plainly that because of the card storage compartment on the back, this case does not support wireless charging. If you're someone who drops your phone on a Qi pad every night or uses a magnetic car mount, that's disqualifying before you even get to the drop protection conversation. And speaking of drop protection, TONGATE's listing says the case exceeds mil-spec shock standards and is drop tested at 12 to 18 feet, which sounds impressive read out loud, but unlike picks 5 and 4, there's no actual MIL-STD number attached to back it up. It's a claim, not a citation. And that distinction matters if you're the type of buyer who actually goes and looks up what a standard means before trusting it. Verdict: this is the pick for someone who wants to physically stop carrying a wallet and still get real hinge coverage. But if wireless charging is part of your daily routine, skip straight past this one. If wireless charging matters more to you than card storage, the next 2 picks both keep it, and both drop the drop rating paperwork entirely. The NINKI case is built around the S Pen crowd. It's got a dedicated stylus holder built into the frame, an invisible kickstand that sits flush against the back until you need it, a magnetic hinge cover, and laser-cut precision around the buttons and ports so nothing feels blocked. Raised edges wrap around both the camera module and the front screen, which is meant to keep the phone off the glass and the lens itself if you set it face down or drop it flat on a table. A version of the table wobble problem other cases solve with an isolated lens rim, though NINKI doesn't specify which approach it's using here. There's a built-in screen protector as part of the front frame as well. The honest catch is the one that matters most for a video literally titled Extreme Drops. This is the first case on the list with no drop height figure and no named MIL-STD number anywhere in its listing. Raised edges against bumps and accidental drops is a real, stated feature, but it's a description, not a measurement. There's nothing here you could look up and verify the way you can with SUPCASE's 810H-516.8 or even TORRAS's softer 810G claim. That doesn't make it a bad case. It makes it a case built for a different job. Everyday carry with S Pen access, not a worst-case scenario drop from height. Verdict: if you actually use the S Pen regularly and want kickstand convenience without extra bulk, this earns its spot. Just don't expect it to survive the same fall the top 2 picks are built for. I want to be straightforward with you about this last pick before I tell you what it does well, because it's the whole reason I wanted to walk through this list in order instead of just handing you a best overall badge. The WSKEN case has a genuinely well-built 360-degree rotating ring stand made from zinc alloy metal, N52 magnets for MagSafe compatibility, a matte anti-fingerprint finish, auto-closing hinge protection that's engineered to stay snug without adding real bulk, and it ships with 2 HD screen protectors already in the box. As a daily carry, one-handed grip case for a big foldable, it's thoughtfully designed. That permanent ring genuinely helps you hold a phone this size without your wrist doing all the work. But here's the catch, and it's not one I'm inferring. It's printed directly in WSKEN's own product title. This is labeled Daily Drop Protection. Not military grade, not extreme. WSKEN isn't overselling this case, which I actually respect. But it also means that if the entire premise of this video is surviving a genuinely extreme drop, this is not that case. The permanent ring also adds a small bump to the back panel compared to the flush kickstands on picks 2 through 4, so it won't slide into every pocket quite as cleanly. Verdict: This is the most honestly labeled case on the entire list, and a genuinely good daily use pick with real one-handed grip benefits. Just don't mistake best in this lineup for built to survive extreme drops, because by its own listing, it isn't. So here's how I'd actually sort these by what you need. If extreme drop protection is genuinely your top priority, go back to pick 5. The SUPCASE is the only case on this list with a specific drop height and a specific named military standard attached to it. If you want that same certified drop language in a case that looks like it belongs in an office, that's the TORRAS. If you're trying to leave your physical wallet at home and don't rely on wireless charging, the TONGATE solves that. Just remember it's Z Fold 8 Ultra only, not the wide model. If you're an S Pen user who wants a flush, pocket-friendly case, the NINKI is built for you. And if you just want the best everyday grip and don't need drop test paperwork, the WSKEN is a genuinely solid, honestly labeled daily case. Links to every case are down in the description, in the exact order we covered them. If this saved you from buying the wrong one, drop a like and subscribe for the next round.